Now have the coach of the Orange on with us, brought to you by Oswego County Mutual, Adrian Autry joining us. And Coach, let's start with Tuesday night. And, as I was saying last segment, it's certainly a tale of two halves, up 16 in the first half. Pittsburgh chipped away, cut it to 7 by the break, and then we saw the way the second half went. What was the biggest reason for that turnaround and how that game got away?
Well, I think Pitt started making shots. I thought they missed a lot of easy shots early. Obviously, we made some shots, and we knew again, they were going to come back. And I thought we went back and forth for a while. I thought we had I thought a couple of mistakes in the first half, a couple of turnovers against the press kind of got Pitt going, and then we kept going. And then in the second half, I thought we had some really open looks, really good shots that could have pushed the lead up to double digits, and we didn't get those, and then they came down and they scored, and when we went zone, they made a couple of shots, but we also fouled them a couple of times. I thought they got to the foul line. I thought the foul line, them getting to the foul line, and then the 3-point plays really was a difference. Even when we were scoring 2, they got a couple of and ones. And they got to the foul line 24 times. So I thought that was a difference. But, our offense, I thought, we had good looks, and I thought, we just couldn't make things when we needed to kind of keep trading baskets or keeping up with the score. We didn't.
How do you get a guy like I'm going to probably ask you a couple questions with specific names. How do you get a guy like Chris Belt to, like I mentioned, it seems like he catches and then shoots, but he doesn't catch and shoot. Like we maybe were spoiled by a Buddy Boeheim who had a quicker release. How do you get him to shoot more? There was one specific play in that game where he got to the free throw line, had a wide open shot, made a bounce pass to Petar instead of taking it. How do you get him to be more aggressive and shoot more? Because it clearly seems like you want him to.
I thought he got the ball. I thought he got looks. I don't think anyone tells him not to shoot. I thought he passed up one, in the first half. We get a rebound, we kick it out. He shot fakes, and then tries to kind of pulls up and gets blocked. But, we always want him to be aggressive. We always trying to, find ways to get him shots when we can and what we do. And when he gets open looks, last game was the first game that we done all year where we really kind of got into the paint and got it kicked out. I thought JC made a couple of driving kicks. I thought Lucas made a couple of driving kicks. And I think that helps him. And we haven't done that a lot this year. That game we did. He got his looks. But, it's different type of shooters. And, again, he has opportunities. Sometimes he's just, not ready to shoot. And we talk about being shot ready. But, I think I wanted him to shoot that. He had this guy up in the air. You got to make those shots, but he chose to make it. He chose to try to get it into Peter.
What do you do with the unforced errors, Coach? Because I know you brought it up in the post-game press conference afterwards, the turnovers, and you said, these aren't, difficult turnovers. These are, guys throwing the ball away. Or, we saw, again, not to throw anybody under the bus, but just a couple of examples. JJ, just got the ball taken from him in a play that, ended up with a layup at the other end by Jalen Lowe, tied the game. There was the Jaquan Carlos, the poor entry feed where he's looking for Eddie, and he threw it like 6 feet away from him out of bounds. Like things where you're not forced into those mistakes. It just kind of feels like unforced errors. As a coaching staff, how do you go about trying to cut down on those mistakes, especially at the key times of games?
It's a good question. Now if you're calling a play or you're trying to execute a play where, the pass may be, flares or lobs, those are the plays that you don't call. I think that's the only thing that you can do. But, the one thing I can't we try to, we work on all that stuff, ball handling, entry passes, angles. But in the game, I think, JJ was driving, trying to make a play. The guy sat on it and picked him. And then, JC, that was a miscommunication. I thought, I thought he thought Jair was going to post up. Jair let the guy front him. So, he just threw the ball away. But we talk about you don't throw the ball until you see the numbers and you see the hands, and you can't anticipate. It has to be a sure thing. So we talk about those 2-hand passes, getting open, working to get open, and things like that. So, that's what we can do as a coaching staff, and we continue to do it every day.
No Elijah Moore in this game against Pittsburgh. I know you touched on that as well in the post-game press conference. Any sort of update on him? Can you share anything along the lines of what the injury is? Do you expect him to play against NC State?
We expect him to be back. We've had, we'll get back in the gym today. I don't think it was. I think he's, moving along, progressing pretty well. So we expect him to be ready to play the next game.
Coach, how's the team doing after that game, and how do you get them back after a game like that? You guys have had tough losses this year, but that one, it looked like right after the game, it took its toll on your players.
Yeah, I think, I watched it, and I talked to those guys, and again, you got a group of guys that in the coaching staff that are connected. We're gonna keep pushing. And we just got to regroup. We got a couple of days off. We got some days before we play the next game. I think that'll help us. You just got to finish out the season. That's what this is. You start something, you finish it out, and you keep going. But I just talked about at the end of the day, I thought. We had some opportunities to keep the lead and make it a little bit harder, and we had great shots. We passed up good shots for great shots. I thought defensively, we got a couple unlucky bounces. We get a deflection, they get it, and they kick it to the corner, they get a three. That was unfortunate. We were scrambling for a couple of long rebounds, they call a foul, they get 4 free throws. We have to make those plays, but that's what happened, and I think you just got to keep working and getting better and getting ready for the next game, and that's all you can do. You can't dwell on the past. You got to be in the present and prepare for now.
Paulie asked you about how the players are doing. How are you doing? How are you kind of processing everything that's going on and the outside noise and what's going on within your team? How are you handling it all?
The outside noise does not bother, I think when you're in a situation like this, not having the season that you want, outside noise is, I get it, so that doesn't bother me. I'm trying to get this team better. I'm trying to figure out how we can win the next game, how we can continually move forward. I'm entrenched in that. For me, this is what, this is my job. This is what I signed up for. Listen, I come from the hood, man. So I've seen a lot worse, and been through a lot worse. So, me trying to figure this out, this is a challenge, and I think every coach goes through it. When things don't go your way, this is you have to figure it out. You can't just shut down, and that's what we talk about. Things are not going to go our way. And you got to fight through that, and that's what we're doing. And I'm here, and our coaching staff is here. We're just locked in on this team, trying to put the plan together to win the next game and get better in the next practice and get better in the practice after that, and that's the mindset.
And I totally understand that. I know the focus for you and the players is on NC State in the next game and all that. For the fans, a lot of them have turned the page to next year, and they want to know how this is going to be fixed. Can you speak, Red, to big picture in terms of the plan of next year and how this gets fixed here moving forward?
For me, we have a lot of things in place, but I'm not. Right now I'm still in this season. So I answer that question, but I know that we have the right things in place. Obviously, there are a lot of changes within college athletics that are happening. That will be a big help for us. I do believe now, everyone is starting to understand what new college looks like. So I think, we've done all the things that we need to do to prepare for next year. So. We got a great high school recruiting class with top talented guys that are, that can come in and play, not like development guys. These guys can come in and play, and I think, we'll be ready for the portal. And we have all the things behind us to prepare for the portal. So I think, that's the one thing that I would say about that, but I can't really, spend too much time on that right now as I prepared and finish out this season. And we got 4 more games, and then we're going to try to get ready and see if we're going to, be in the tournament and then prepare for the tournament. That's my mind. So I can't get too far in it, but we have things in place that we did not have in place last year. So that's the thing I will say. And again, we have one of the top 10 recruiting classes coming in. So it's a lot to look forward to. It's a lot to be excited about. I mean, after going through a year like this, you have no choice to get better. You have no choice to get better. You grow, you go through these things and get better. And that's the only way you can be successful, as is failing, having adversity and going through adversity. There's no success without going through adversity.
Let me ask you another question, because I don't know if your answer is getting misunderstood by you saying you have to concentrate on every game. The program in itself, though, like, there's a guy now that is concentrating on the future for you, whereas last year you had to concentrate on the future and what was happening at the moment. The GM right now is working on your future, right?
Exactly. We didn't have that in place. So, you have someone we have things in place, as far as that, to get prepared for, the portal or / free agency or whatever you want to call it. Being prepared, knowing, knowing what we need and kind of what we're looking for, having a great understanding of every possible player that fits what we want, so when the portal opens up, we'll be prepared and be ready to go right away. You don't have time in the portal, you got to be ready to go. And then, and obviously, with the revenue sharing thing, that's going to be huge for us. So again, we didn't have those things in place last year.
One of our listeners wants to know how Donnie's doing after his surgery. Was it successful? And, how are his spirits after the surgery?
Donnie is great. I was with him yesterday, and I'm actually getting ready to go down right after this before we go to practice. He'll be in, but everything went fine. He's cured. He's on his way back. He's working out in the weight room as we get ready to go down there now. He's getting ready to get a little workout in on his upper body, but everything is good. He'll be fine. He'll be back 100%.
To hear, and that's great to hear. And then last one for you, Coach, from me anyway, looking ahead to next week. This is a really important game against NC State as it pertains to the ACC tournament. I know you're probably just delving into the Wolfpack at this point because you've got some extra time to prepare for them, but what stands out to you about this team as you get ready for that game on Wednesday?
Well, when you talk about a Kevin Keith's team at NC State, obviously they like to play fast. They always have a bunch of guards that can, beat you off the bounce and shoot. They don't have DJ Burns this year, but they still obviously their record is not what they want it to be. But a team that has multiple guards, they get up and down. They like to play fast-paced, shoot a ton of threes. So again, a fast-paced team.
It's weird to say, but this is a very important game for you guys. How, do you guys look at it that way when you're playing? Like, you don't want to be in this position, but you're playing NC State for basically your season at this point.
Every game is important, Paulie. Every game is important. So again, we want to win. We want to win every game. We prepare for every game. Again, we want to get ready to try to prepare to win a game, and then that's not going to change. We don't, this is on our schedule. This is part of our regular season. We're going to prepare to win it, and we prepare to win every game, and we'll prepare for this one.
All right, Coach. We appreciate the time. We'll see you over at Carrabba's tonight for the Adrian Autry show. We look forward to talking with you again next week. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, Adrian Autry, brought to you every week by Oswego County Mutual. And with that, we'll hit a timeout. We've got Voice of the Orange, Matt Park, set to join us on the other side. We're back after this on ESPN Radio.